Hey, boys and girls, Miss Dalton here. I'm going to read you this story, and I want you to listen really, really close, and then you're going to have some questions that you're going to answer at the end of the story. So, what we're going to look at is the clues that tell us the theme of the story. Now, remember that the theme of the story is basically what happened in the story and what message the author wants us to get from the story. So it's sort of like the main idea of the story, but it's really kind of like a message that they want us to get. So it's not the main idea. It is a little bit different. So we're going to read about how some smart cows and hens get what they want. Okay, this is called Click, Clack, Moo, Cows That Type. Now, you know by looking at the cover, this is a fantasy story because we know cows cannot type, and it looks like they're typing on a typewriter. A typewriter is like an old machine that we would use to type letters like what we would do on our computer now. So it's an older machine just like that. All right, let's read and let's see what happens. So pay close attention so you can answer your questions. Farmer Brown has a problem. His cows like to type. All day long he hears click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, clickety, clack, moo. At first, he couldn't believe his ears. Cows that type? Impossible! Click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, clickety, clack, moo. Then he couldn't believe his eyes. Look, they've left him a note. It says, Dear Farmer Brown, the barn is very cold at night. We'd like some electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows. That is so silly. It was bad enough the cows had found the old typewriter in the barn. Now they wanted electric blankets? No way, said Farmer Brown. No electric blankets. So the cows went on strike. They left a note on the barn door. Sorry, we're closed. No milk today. Now, there was a word right here that said strike. It said, so the cows went on strike. That may be something that you don't understand what that means. So let's talk about it. They went on strike and then they said, we're closed, no milk today. So what a strike means is that they're going to say, we're not going to give you what you want from us until you give us what we want from you. So they're going on strike. They said, okay, well, if you do not give us any blankets that are electric blankets, we're not giving you any milk. Let's see what happens. No milk today? Cried Farmer Brown. In the background, he heard the cows busy at work. Click, clack, moo. Clickety, clack, moo. Clickety, clack, moo. The next day, he got another note. Dear Farmer Brown, the hens are cold too. They like electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows. So now they're getting extra smart and they're saying, okay, well, we need some electric blankets and the hens would like some too. So let's see what happens. The cows were growing impatient with the farmer. They left a new note on the barn door. Closed, no milk, no eggs. So now their strike is going even further. They're not giving milk, but now the chickens are saying no eggs. No eggs, cried Farmer Brown. In the background, he heard them. Click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, clickety, clack, moo. My goodness. Cows that type? Hens on strike? Who ever heard of such a thing? How can I run a farm with no milk and no eggs? Farmer Brown was furious. So furious means he was very mad. Farmer Brown got his own typewriter. Dear cows and hens, there will be no electric blankets. You are cows and hens. I demand milk and eggs. Sincerely, Farmer Brown. Okay, so let's look at that for a second. It says, I demand milk and eggs. What do you think that means? Demand means that he is not going to let anything else happen. It is going to happen for sure. He demands it. Duck was a neutral party, so he brought the ultimatum to the cows. So an ultimatum is where you have this choice or this choice, and that's it. So let's see what happens. The cows held an emergency meeting. All the animals gathered around the barn to snoop, but none of them could understand moo. All night long, Farmer Brown waited for an answer. Duck knocked on the door early the next morning. He handed Farmer Brown a note. Dear Farmer Brown, we will exchange our typewriter for electric blankets. Leave them outside the barn door, and we will send Duck over with the typewriter. Sincerely, the cows. Think that's a good ultimatum? Maybe. They both get what they want. Farmer Brown would not have to worry about typing those letters anymore and hearing click, clack, moo all the time, and they would get the blankets that they want. But is Farmer Brown going to agree? Let's see. Farmer Brown decided that this was a good deal. He left the blankets next to the barn door and waited for Duck to come with the typewriter. The next morning, he got a note. Dear Farmer Brown, the pond is quite boring. We'd like a diving board. Sincerely, the ducks. Click, clack, quack. Click, clack, quack. Clickety, clack, quack. Oh, no. So Farmer Brown got what he wanted, and the cows and hens got their blankets that they wanted, but Duck decided to keep that typewriter, didn't he? So now Farmer Brown has another problem. The ducks. All right, now let's answer a couple of questions. When we think about the theme of the story, what do you think that could be? What were they doing mostly? So when I think back through the story, the cows were wanting blankets and they were not getting them, so they went on strike. And the hens wanted some blankets and they didn't get them, so they went on strike. So he was not getting milk and eggs, and he demanded them to give milk and eggs. So the cows decided to meet and give him his demands. And the cows went to exchange the typewriter for the blankets. And Farmer Brown said that that was a good deal. So all of those are clues to tell me about the theme of the story, that the animals were all working together to make their lives better. They were working together as a team. So the theme of the story is working together makes your life better. So it all boils down to teamwork. All right, now you're going to have a few questions for you to answer at the end of this. You can use your microphone to do that, or you can type them in. The microphone is probably easier for you guys. All right, guys.